taking you on an eventful ride through the world of sports, ranging from the latest sports update, expert analyses, and exciting highlights in the sporting arena. Yes, sir. Now, let's step into the dynamic world of sports, beginning from the MPFL, where we've got this on Finidi George, as he says he's satisfied with Rivers United win over Kano Pillars. Rivers United technical advisor Finidi George has expressed his satisfaction with his team's victory over Kano Pillars. The Pride of Rivers defeated Kano Pillars 1-0 at the Adokie Amesimaka Stadium, Port Harcourt yesterday. Boluwaji Solumwade netted the winner for Rivers United in the game. Finidi believed that the rescheduled matchday 15 win over the Sai Masugida will boost the morale of the players after the CAF Champions League loss in RS Bakane last Friday. He said, and I quote, "It was a difficult game. We knew from the onset because for us, coming from defeat in Uyo, it affected the players a bit psychologically. In the first half, the players were a little bit sloppy, but in the second half, they pushed to see how to get the goal. But luckily for us, we scored and we are happy with that victory." Yes, sir. Moving on, where we've got this coming from Troost Ekong, Super Eagles captain, as he retires from international football. Nigerian captain William Troost-Ekong has confirmed his retirement from international football after a decade with the Super Eagles, announcing the decision in an emotional statement yesterday. Writing on his Instagram handle, he expressed gratitude for the opportunity to represent Nigeria, describing it as the greatest privilege of his career and affirming that while his journey on the pitch has ended, his support for the team will continue, and he also looks forward to a new chapter. He said, and I quote, "Honored, grateful, forever Super Eagles. Playing for Nigeria has been the greatest privilege of my life. The journey may end here, but my support never will. Here is to a next chapter." His confirmation came minutes after football transfer reporter Fabrizio Romano disclosed the development. Romano wrote on his X handle, and I quote, "William Troost-Ekong has decided to retire from international football. Now won't play for Nigeria again. After 83 caps, 3 medals, and playing in 5 major tournaments, Troost-Ekong says goodbye to the Super Eagles." Troost-Ekong, who plays for Al Khulud in the Saudi Pro League, was born in Netherlands to a Dutch mother and a Nigerian father. We wish Troost-Ekong all the best. Yes, still talking Troost-Ekong, where retiring Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong has counted his achievements with the Nigerian national football team. Recent reports that the defender announced his retirement from the Super Eagles yesterday, ending the decade-long career with Nigeria. Many fans received his resignation with shock, as it came just 2 weeks before the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. National team handler Eric Shell had also included the former Watford star in the 52-man professional squad for the tournament. Troost-Ekong played his game for Nigeria in 2015 after he was called up by the late Stephen Nkeshi Chustakanga, who expressed gratitude for the privilege of playing for Nigeria, said he never dreamt of becoming a captain to the Super Eagles. He said, and I quote, to have achieved 83 senior caps, played in 5 major tournaments, 3 medals, and broken a few records. I am really living my dream. A bronze medal at the Rio 2016 Olympics, following by playing at the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia, and 3 incredible AFCON tournaments with a bronze and recently silver medal will remain unforgettable. Yes, moving on, where I've got this coming from Messi as he eyes his first MLS crown as Miami face Muller-led Vancouver. Lionel Messi will aim to crown his MLS revolution by leading Inter Miami to their first domestic championship on Saturday in a blockbuster season final against the surging Vancouver Whitecaps 2 years ago. After reshaping the landscape of Major League Soccer following his arrival in Florida, Messi is on the brink of delivering the title Miami have craved since the club joined the MLS as the expansion team in 2020. After a rocky start to the season, the 38-year-old Argentine superstar has masterminded a dazzling Miami playoff run, with the club scoring 17 goals in 5 games. But blocking Messi and Miami path is a vibrant Vancouver side powered by German great Thomas Muller, who has given an added potency to an already dangerous Whitecaps attack since joining the club in August. Muller and Messi are 2 of the 4 World Cup winning players, along the Inter Sergio Busquets and Argentina Rodrigo de Paul, who will take the field at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale in the MLS Cup final, describing as a marketing dream. Yes, moving on, I've got this on the AFCON 2025 on Super Eagles. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have been forced to change both the venue and the date for the start of the preparation for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. The change follows the latest directive on players released from the Federation International de Football Association, FIFA. FIFA has instructed that clubs may now only release players for the tournament on December 15. The players were initially expected to report to camp on December 10th. According to recent reports, they will begin preparations for the AFCON 2025 finals on December 14th. The Super Eagles will also set up camp in Morocco rather than Egypt as previously planned. Yes, moving on, where I've got this coming from Oshoala as she scores 6 Saudi League goals. Super A Falcons forward Asisat Oshoala has extended a final scoring streak yesterday, netting a 6th goal of the season to inspire Al Hilal to a 2-0 victory over Eastern Flames in the Saudi Women Premier League. The Nigerian star, who has been outstanding since arriving at Al Hilal, opened the scoring in the 43rd minute, bouncing on a rebound to give the visitors a well-deserved lead. Al Hilal strengthened their grip on the match early in the second half, where our Bandari Mubarak struck in the 62nd minute, securing a comfortable victory. Despite the win, Al Hilal remains second on the log with 15 points from 7 games, 3 points behind leaders, and who maintain a perfect record and still have a game in their hands. Eastern Flames struggle continues as the defeat leaves them winless after 7 league matches. Al Hilal will return to action on 29th of January 2026 against Arkadish, with Eastern Flames face an uphill task in the quest for the first point when they meet Al-Nassr the following day. Yes, moving on, we have got this coming from Olise, and this is about Victor Osimhen. Super Eagles legend Sunday Olise has confirmed that Real Madrid are genuinely interested in signing Victor Osimhen. Although he refused to divulge the source of the information, Osimhen has been one of the most sought-out strikers in the world since helping Napoli win the Italian Serie title in the 2022-23 season. After a complicated transfer saga, he eventually joined Galatasaray permanently in the summer of 2025 following the season-long loan. During his loan at the Turkish club last season, he led the team to Turkish Super League and domestic cup titles, while also finishing as the league top scorer. His stock has risen in Turkey as he continues to score goals at an elite level. According to Transfer Market, his performance in the UEFA Champions League this season is where he has scored 6 goals in 3 matches and has further alerted European clubs. Spanish giant Real Madrid have reportedly listed the Nigerian forward as a priority target to give their explosive attack a focal point. Yes, we've got this coming from Sadiq and the Sociedad coach. For the second time in a week, Real Sociedad striker Omar Sadiq has received praise from the head coach Sergio Francisco after scoring and assisting in their 2-0 win against Reus in the Copa del Rey on Wednesday. Francisco has only recently he has been lauded the striker for his performance against Villarreal last weekend when the 28-year-old made his first start of the season. His 3 other leagues appearances this time have come as a substitute, coming off the bench against Reus. The former Rangers striker set up Mikel Gotti 4 minutes after the restart before converting the stoppage time penalty in the 93rd minute. Sadiq's last goal before Wednesday came during the loan spell of Valencia in a 1-1 draw against Rayo Vallecano back in May, having been in third choice attacker for the Tuxi Odin this season. His decision to stay focused and eventually get back on the score sheet pleased the Spanish manager. Yes, we've got this coming from Senna as he criticizes Osimhen. And we're still talking football, of course. Football commentator Etem Senna has criticized Victor Osimhen following Galatasaray's recent 1-1 draw with Fenerbahce in the Turkish Super League. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Senna insisted that the Nigerian international reportedly lost possession. He repeatedly lost possession. According to him, the encounter was Osimhen's worst since he joined Galatasaray from Napoli. Senna said, and I quote, Osimhen played his worst game since his arrival. He kept losing the ball. Osimhen was very bad. Recall that goes from Leroy Sané and John Durrani assured both Galatasaray and Fenerbahce end a point each. Galatasaray's next game is against Samsunspor today, and Osimhen will hope to be on the score sheet. Yes, moving on to the 2026 WCQ, where we've got this coming from former South African striker Benny McCarthy. Benny McCarthy has hailed the Super Eagles for teaching Benin Republic a lesson during the 2026 World Cup qualifying series. McCarthy said he was pleased with Nigeria turned up and beat Benin Republic 4-0 in the last group game of the qualifying series. The defeat meant Benin will start his start on top of Group C, is going into the last round of fixtures, failed to qualify with Nigeria going into the playoffs, while South Africa was handed automatic qualification. Nigeria needed to score at least 4 goals to reach the playoffs, and Victor Osimhen's hat-trick alongside Frank Onyeka's late strike provided that. McCarthy said, and I quote, I was at home in the UK and I was watching, keeping a really close eye. I was rooting for them and hoping they would win and beat and that Nigeria beat Benin, because even if South Africa had won, if Benin beat Nigeria, South Africa is still out. I was pleased Nigeria taught Benin a lesson, because it opened the door for us to walk through the qualifier for the World Cup. Mekati, a South African all-highest goal scorer with 31 goals, was the squad's beating 1-0 by Nigeria in 2010 World Cup qualifiers. Yes, moving on to the transfer scene. Transfer rumors going around in the football arena. Well, we've got this coming from Florent Plettenberg. Florent Plettenberg has reported that Arsenal are keeping a close eye on entrant Frankfurt winger John Mateo Bahoya. The Gunners' interest in the summer transfer is concrete, with the Bundesliga club have been informed. Frankfurt sporting director Markus Krosch is demanding a fee of up to 70 million euros to sign the 20-year-old, who has 3 goals and an assist from 18 appearances across all competitions so far this time, and a contract that runs until 2029. Still talking transfer, where the Madrid winger Rodrigo would consider joining Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur, with the 24-year-old aiming for a game time in the hope of earning a place in Brazil's squad at the World Cup. The Premier League giants now keeping an eye for his situation, but Los Blancos insist that Rodrigo is part of their plan, so a January transfer would be difficult to complete and would cost around 80 million euros. Still talking transfer, where Real Madrid, Arsenal and Manchester United have also been scouting Frankfurt left back Nathaniel Brown for months. As reported, they go as far as suggesting that the 22-year-old departure from the Bundesliga club is practically sealed due to Frankfurt having the deal to offload him. Brown has represented Germany national team twice and made his senior international debut in October. Still talking transfer, well, we've got this from Internazionale and AC Milan, as they both see Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper Guglielmo Vicario as a potential option, with the two rivals looking to sign the new number 1 in summer. According to recent reports, Spurs are considering Manchester City, James Trafford and Brighton and Overborn, but Verbruggen as a replacement. But Manchester City, Chelsea and Bayern Munich are also interested in the Netherlands international. And finally, on the transfer scene, where Atlanta and Como are interested in AZ Alkmaar. AZ Alkmaar midfielder Keith Smith, recent reports said they will face competition from the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and Barcelona. The 19-year-old's contract runs until 2028 and his transfer is valued at 20 million euros. Smith has stepped up to a senior game after winning the Under-19 Euros and UEFA Youth League, while Como will point to their work with former Real Madrid player Nico Paz as they try to beat the big games to his signature. And now moving on to fixtures, that is the fixtures that will be played this weekend. Beginning from the fixtures that will be played, matches that will be played on today, the 5th of December. Starting from the English Champions League, where we've got a match between Hull City versus Middlesbrough, and this match will kick off by 9 p.m. Yes, still talking fixtures and talking fixtures that will be played tomorrow. Yes, the program is still Sports Diaries, coming to you from iPower 102.7 FM. Still taking pictures that will be played on tomorrow, that is the 6th of December, beginning from the English Premier League. Where Aston Villa versus Arsenal will kick off by 1:30 p.m. AFC Bournemouth versus Chelsea will kick off by 4 p.m. Everton versus Nottingham Forest will kick off by 4 p.m. Manchester City versus Sunderland will kick off by 4 p.m. Newcastle versus Burnley will kick off by 4 p.m. Tottenham Hotspur versus Brentford will kick off by 4 p.m. Leeds United versus Liverpool will kick off by 6:30 p.m. Moving on to the English Champions League, well, Charlton Athletic versus Portsmouth will kick off by 1:30 p.m. Derby County versus Leicester City will kick off by 1:30 p.m. Watford versus Norwich City will kick off by 1:30 p.m. Blackburn Rovers versus Sheffield Wednesday by 4 p.m. Bristol City versus Millwall will kick off by the same time, 4 p.m. Ipswich Town versus Coventry City will kick off by 4 p.m. Preston North End versus Wrexham will kick off by 4 p.m. Queen Parks Rangers versus West Bromwich Albion will kick off by 4 p.m. Sheffield United versus Stoke City will kick off by 4 p.m. Southampton versus Birmingham City will kick off by 4 p.m. And finally, Swansea City versus Oxford United will kick off by 4 p.m. Yes, moving on to matches that will be played on Sunday. That is the 7th of December, beginning from the English Premier League, where Brighton of Albion versus West Ham United will kick off by 3 p.m. Fulham versus Crystal Palace will kick off by 5:30 p.m. And now, moving on to the Nigerian Professional League matches that will be happening on Sunday. That is the 7th of December, where Alkanemi Warriors versus Barrow will kick off by 3 p.m. Abia Warriors versus Rivers United will kick off by 4 p.m. Canopilas versus Kunkalifat FC will kick off by 4 p.m. Kwara United versus Niger Tornadoes will kick off by 4 p.m. Nasarawa United versus Shooting Stars SC will kick off by 4 p.m. Plateau United versus Warriors will kick off by the same time, 4 p.m. Rangers International versus Bayelsa United will kick off by 4 p.m. Remo Stars versus Ayimba will kick off by 4 p.m. And finally, Wiki Terrace versus Ikorodu will kick off by 4 p.m. And with that, we've come to a wrap on today's edition of Sports Diaries. Many thanks to those who tuned in to listen to the program today. Many thanks to those who made today's program possible. Many thanks to those who are here with me in the studios this morning. Many thanks to you listeners out there once again. Until next time, I remain your favorite sports Steve. Keep loving the game and stay sporting. God bless you.